All right, let's get started. Quick story. Let me look at my notes real quick. All right. Um, the reason why I'm going so hard filming all this vocal mixing course is because if you heard my story on my website in my courses, you will realize that as a producer, I had a bunch of issue. I had a major issue with vocal. And that's why I went really hard into studying, professional vocal art or sound professional. That type of vocal that you hear on Drake and a bunch of, high, what they call them, high guns, mix engineer, how they craft their vocal to hear that tone, man, that I love. It took me a while to really get it. If you look at this session right now, you can see I have like some references that I pull up right here. Let me show you. This is the references that I use for these vocal. One sec.
Safe full of diamonds, a couple nice watches.
There
Made
you
some
go.
mistakes and they think they can stop us, but Tiger plays golf and the whole world watches.
Questions we ask ourselves.
Yeah, those guys sounds like freaking amazing. The one that I did and that I'm giving to you guys today is kind of close. It's not because I don't know what they're using, and I'm not really trying to get what they get. I just love the character, and I want to kind of create that for me and for you guys. And also, I want you to understand the exclusivity of this product that I'm giving to you. You will not see this being sold on my website. I don't know, I'm gonna change my mind maybe next year or somewhere in the middle of this year. But for right now, this is only for the people that receive this in their email. And if you receive this, is because you bought one of my previous product, maybe my ebook or my course, my basic vocal mixing course. And this right here is like the advanced professional version of what you have. If you haven't got that, you should get it. And what am I even saying? I'm contradicting exactly what I just said. You wouldn't get this video anyway if you haven't got my course. So this is only for the people who've got my course. Now let's get straight to the breakdown. So this is the Wave version. I have another one which is for exclusively for Ableton version, but I know a lot of mixers and a lot of young engineers and producers, they have access to Wave file. So Wave product, Wave plugin. So that's why I'm doing the Wave version of it. I'm gonna break it down so you can understand the process and the philosophy behind it, which is the most important thing. And you can replicate this in any DAW, maybe Fruit Loops, Logic, Pro Tools, whatever. But the concept is what is the most important thing. And okay, let's get to it. I'm gonna go through the plugins from the beginning to end, and I will talk about I'll try to talk about the philosophy along the way also. And if I didn't cover anything, then I'll come back in, get into the philosophy, the mindset, because those are the most important thing. So the first thing is your tuning. You got to get your tuning right, get the key right, A major or minor. And I usually go between somewhere 20 to 30 area. Now let me play you the before and after of this. Let me put this vocal out here so you don't hear me out of tune. This is me just doing gibberish just because I want to do this. I want to use this as an exercise for you to be able to get vocal to sound good. Usually this will be like a singing vocal or a rap vocal. So I'm just warning you, I sound terrible. So anyway, let's play that. Okay, so that's the other one. You want to sell me to money, but there's so many men. I just wanted to money. Seek it to me. All right, now let's put all the plugins in and all the processing. You want to sell me to money, but there's so many men. I just wanted to money.
Si que tu me haces de posemática ponjela. El te veré me muye. Hace ne bombe nya. Se de me. Antele monte.
All right, there you go. I hate listening to myself, man. But anyway, so the first thing is our verse, and what we're trying to accomplish here is the compression. We just want to kind of create some type of compression, a little density right there. Every time I'm compressing, I'm always thinking in terms of density. If you listen to my other courses, then this right here is like a frequency distribution station. And the reason for this is because I'm trying to avoid EQing. And in my first course, if you get that, I did a lot of EQing with that. But this particular style and system is creating a vocal without EQing at all. And why don't we want to EQ? We don't want to EQ because EQing usually create a bunch of phasing. You may not hear it, but if you pay attention really well, especially in the high end around 3K upward, you try to hear some type of phasing going on with a boosting EQ. If you're not using like a analog emulation EQ, because even though they have phasing going on with the EQ because of the distortion and those saturation, it makes up for that. So that's why I'm creating this type of frequency distribution. I'm not really compressing. Let me turn off everything else so you can hear what this is doing. It's not really compressing the signal. It's just like a way of me EQing the vocal without EQing it. I'm just EQing with those separation of the frequency. I don't know if that makes sense. So I have 90 right here. Then we don't want to worry about that because there's nothing in there. So between 90 to 1-2, that's the first. Okay, then we'll move to this. 1.2 to 5K. Then we'll move to this. Yeah, that's it. And this is just like a notch out and also notching out 200 here. So
You want to send me to Mali, but to so many me. I just wanted to Mali.
That's without.
Seek it to me.
This with.
You want to send me to Mali, but to so many me.
Yeah, this you can use this right to kind of shape the vocal, EQing without EQing it. So if that makes sense, so you can turn this up right here. I have it on -7. Let's turn this up. And we have a lot of body to the vocal if we need to, depending on your vocal material.
You want to send me to Mali, but to so many me. I just wanted to Mali. Seek it to me.
Yeah, that sounds good too. But once you start to add a bunch of stuff, all the body coming from all this emulation and compression I'm adding, it makes it become woofy. So eventually I turn it down. But you adjust this body control according to the material that you fitting into this chain. So just be aware of that. So I had it at -7. Yeah, something like that. So let's go.
You want to send me to Mali.
Yeah, then after I was done with this chain, I added a little tiny EQ around somewhere so I can get my top end come up. And this is the first one I put here, and let's see what it's doing. Let me show you what I'm adding. You see 0.105, that's very tiny. And around 13K, usually sometime I would do from 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there. See, I'm doing 0.1. Then I'm doing like a shelve -1.65. I'm shelving it around 2.7. That's a tiny moves, because you don't want to do too much. even though this is like an emulated version of EQing, which is why it was my first choice, because I don't want to use like a regular digital EQ. I want something that has a little bit of, you know, saturation, because saturation is what we're trying to get. Comparing to the vocals that I have here,
Notches, safe full of diamonds, a couple.
yeah, that's like saturated to the to the max. So we're trying to add in a tiny here and there. So all the accumulative effect can give us the kind of character that we're looking for. So let's go to the next thing.
You want to sell me to money.
So the next thing I added here is as a Neve emulation of web plugins, and I added another one, and I went into my CLA76 compression. You see the attack is all the way up and the release is fast.
You want to sell me to money, but there's so many me. I just want it to money. Seek it to me. I said if
So it's not really doing much. Want to do so much? Just yeah, so it's supposed to be catching only those high peaks. So the next thing we did was a multi-band compression, like a proper multi-band compression. And this one we have a crossover as 100, 1000, and 10, and we're doing 2.5 ratio. Attack is 2.6, and you know, release is, we can actually turn this up maybe to like 100 something. Yeah, like turn that up. Turn it up to maybe 200. So it kind of, you know, when you have a longer release, what longer release does is it kind of holds. Okay, first of all, shorter release, it grabs and release, grabs and release fast. If you have a longer release, it kind of sustain that compression. So it's like it hold it longer. So that's the effect that I want. So I'll kind of put it to 200 here.
You want to sell me to money, but there's so many me. I just want it to money.
Compared to when you have it where I had it before.
You want to sell me to money, but there's so many me. I just want it to money.
Yeah, it's good too, but you know, I want that compression to just hold it right there. I don't want it to grab and release quickly. So let's do maybe 250 or something like that.
You want to sell me to money, but there's so many me.
Okay, the next thing is I had 2 DSs.
You want to sell me to money, but there's so many me. I just want it to money.
I'm bringing down a little bit of harshness coming in that area, 4K area. Then another one around 4K area.
You want to sell me to money, but there's so many me. I just want it to money.
And we added another emulation, Neve.
You want to sell me to money.
And we added another EQ. The same thing we had before, just 0.1, 0.105, and shelving around the same thing. Then a low cut around 86. The other one too was the same. Then we added another compression. See, if you understand the process, we're just doing tiny stuff. And this is another compression right here. Purchide. This compressor is known for having a very high, saturation level. Some people call it like a symphony of, harmonics. He has a bunch of harmonics in there, so that's why I love this.
You want to sell me to money, but there's so many me. I just want it to money.
Then we added another EQ, doing the same thing again. then we went into parallel compression here. The parallel compression, when I think about parallel compression, what it does to me is the parallel compression is like, you know, what we already have, which is we have some attack, and we want to kind of add on top of those, so we can have like a really dense vocal with a little bit of attack, and we can dial it back and forth to kind of find a good ratio that we want between the attack, I mean more transient, and what we already have. So let me show you what this is doing. Okay, now you can hear that I'm really grabbing the hell out of the vocal right here. Yeah, I'm grabbing the hell out of it, and I'm getting, you know, squeezing the attack that I want out of it, and that against what we already have coming through. Now what we have too has some attack in there, which I like. I forgot to turn this on. So we just added more attack to it. Then we can just turn the attack down if we don't want too much compared to, you know, the dry signal. So this right here is a personal taste. So you can turn this back and forth, you know, depending on your material, to kind of get how much transient you want, and, you know, how much body of the vocal that you want.
You want to sound me to Mali, but to so many me. I just wanted to Mali. Sick to me. I said, Posamatica Bongela.
Oh, wow, that sounds good. Hear that low part, man. That's what I'm talking about. I love that. That sounds good. Now, the tape here is like a pick police right there. It's like a transient police. I just put that at the end to catch any crazy picks. Let me tell you how I do it. I use this Melder Production Analyzer to bring out the oscilloscope, and I'm gonna take this out so you can see what I'm trying to catch. You know, a bunch of, you know, engineers and producers out there visual like me.
You want to sound me?
Yeah, you see those stuff right here?
You want to sound
right
me
here.
to Mali, but to so many me. I just wanted to Mali.
See all that?
Sick to me.
That's a bunch of crazy attacks. We don't want those. This kind of hurt your ears. We want an attack. I love attack in my vocal. You want to attack in your vocal because attack kind of makes it stand out, the transient, but you want to also control it. Now, I love this type of problem because sometimes I work so hard to get an attack out of a vocal and there's none. And the attack, your transient, is what gives the mix life. You know, you want your vocal to stand out in a very noisy music, give it some attack. So I like the fact that I'm having too much attack. Is a good problem to have. So that's why we bring this guy in, and we use the tape saturation to kind of knock it down a bit. Now let's look at it.
You want to sound me to Mali, but to so many me. I just wanted to Mali.
Come down now.
Sick to me. I said, Posamatica Bongela.
When you got to that, sounds so good.
I said, Posamatica Bongela.
Let me show without.
I said, Posamatica Bongela. And they will be more.
Yeah, even the tape saturation is even adding more saturation to the overall sound. So that's it, guys. I hope you love this and you know, use this to, you know, create some amazing songs, amazing vocal. I'm excited, man. I remember those days, those dark days where I used to kind of like cry, man. Well, I hate my vocals. I can never release any song because my vocal just sounds weak. It just sounds, you know, crazy. And now that you know, I've solved the problem over and over again, I have like a whole bunch of vocal chains. You know, let me see if I can show you guys so you can see it. I created them every now and then. It's a vocal box. See, there's a bunch of vocal chain. There's a bunch of ones here, and if I even go to my rack, you see, I create a bunch of them every time. But this one I'm giving you guys is my new ones. This is like the latest one that I use now, and you can tell because the songs that I use as my reference, these are new songs, like these are relatively like recent songs.
Safe full of diamonds, a couple nice watches.
So you know that you guys are getting like the latest stuff, not some old stuff. So I hope you love this gift to you. Happy mixing.